Welcome to the Behind the Drapes podcast. I'm your host, Expo Rich, and I'm here with Solenne Singer, VP of Informa Markets. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We are recording live at the FIME Informa Markets show here in Miami Beach at the beautiful Miami Beach Convention Center. So thank you for being here, Solenne.
Well, thank you for having me.
So it's so great to have you here, and it's great to be on the show floor with the energy buzzing and such great attendance for another spectacular event by Informa. And I've been fortunate to be working with FIME for so many years, and post Informa's acquisition of it, and we've been growing leaps and bounds year over year. So yeah. It's great to be here. And just to tell you a little bit about the show and what we do is, I like to talk to the people in the industry that are making it happen. It's oftentimes that our whole purpose is to showcase a brand, showcase the FIME shows, and then help these exhibitors and sponsors showcase their brand. And we don't often people don't get to know us. So I created this platform to just get to know the people that are behind the drapes.
Yep.
So with that being said, tell me a little bit about you and your position with Informa.
So I'm the vice president of the healthcare portfolio at Informa. So and I'm based out of Dubai, and we're part of a wider group called IMEA, which is India, Middle East, Africa. And the portfolio is 8 events, with a flagship being Arab Health, which takes place in Dubai every year. And then we have similar types of events like FIME here, in Africa, in Asia, and all around the world. So, and I look after the whole portfolio, including sales, marketing, content, and yeah, we just try and put out really good shows if we can.
That's a really big landscape you cover, because I've personally been to Arab Health once, and I mean, that show is spectacular in itself and enormous. And then thinking that you're replicating that in many other places around the globe. I mean, I know that's the biggest, but there's lots of shows that are substantial size that you're looking after. So that's a heavy lift for you to.
It is. I mean, the great thing about working in healthcare is that it's such a great market to work in. I mean, the mayor said it this morning, or actually was it David Whitaker was saying it at the opening. We save lives through these shows, and that you kind of remind yourself of that and think that's worth getting up for, really. Yeah. And it's not just any other industry. So an Arab Health has been going on for 50 years, and it's a well-oiled machine in a way, and we try and innovate it as much as possible. But it's actually the smaller ones in tougher regions that are harder, to be honest, because sure. There's just a lot more effort that needs to go into it. Yeah. So even though it feels daunting, it's actually a little bit easier in some ways, but it has its challenges as well, of course.
So I'd love to hear your origin story. I love to hear how people get in, because oftentimes it's only of recent years that the hospitality, education, and stuff, there's tracks to kind of gear towards more conference and trade show and exhibition. That's not the way it was some years ago when likes of you or I started in this industry. We kind of had to find it and fall into it. So tell me your origin story, how you landed in exhibitions.
So I got a placement for UBM at the time, or it was actually CMP back in the day in London after university, as a sales exec for one of their networks events, so a trade show in Birmingham. And I just started off as a sales exec selling really small booths. And then I went on to do more conferences, where I did producing the conferences, so more of the agendas, etc. Right. And then I did marketing. So I really did all aspects of kind of what I'm doing now, and looking after that whole team. So, but I stayed in marketing for quite a long time. And with Informa, I've been in Informa for 10 years now. And I went from the marketing department now to more of a commercial leadership. So it's been an interesting journey, and I think I think there's just lots of opportunities now with the way we structure our teams. Just because you're a marketer doesn't mean you can't do anything else, right?
Well, you're proof of that, going from sales into different capacities throughout, and now in leadership.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really I think it's really good that well, I know Informa encourages that as much as possible, but I hope other companies do too, because I think we've got other stuff to bring to the table.
It definitely helps for you guys to be global and about 11,000 employees.
Yeah,
and
It does, so the mobility is possible.
Yeah, lots of opportunities to lateral move and move globally and things.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
lots of opportunity there. So as you've worked your way up the chain and throughout the years, I'm sure that there were mentors and leaders that helped you along the way, and I'd like for you to talk on some of those people that maybe you looked up to through mentorship, and then also maybe people that helped you out along the way.
Who have I had? I had a boss in London who I really looked up to a lot. He taught me a lot. I was doing conferences and marketing then, and he was just said it as it was and didn't sugarcoat things, in a good way and a bad way sometimes. But you learn a lot from that. And he's always been, just do the best you can with what you've got, right? Sometimes it's, just a show is difficult, and you've thrown everything, you've done your best, and maybe the industry's not good, or the timing's wrong, or whatever it might be. Because I think we just take it really personally when a show maybe doesn't get the visitor numbers that you want, or doesn't reach the revenue targets, and you feel you've done a lot. So he was quite pragmatic in that way. And then more recently, just some people at Informa who are just really good at what they do, and really see through the work from beginning to end, and don't do things half-heartedly, etc. And just for the best of the colleagues and the business, and I quite like that. There's a few people who are just dedicated to what they do.
You're definitely one of the rare ones that came right out of college and found your first job in the industry and stayed right in and things, because again, like I say, people kind of find their way here through different paths and routes, and but I guess as a sales executive now going into it, you got the bug from you got the trade show bug and kind of explored more. But you're right about the to reflect on what you said earlier about how David was mentioning the product you have here and the services save lives, and it's important too, because that's one of the things that I try to express, and really in all of the events that we work with. We work with many Informa shows, and for me, from the top salespeople all the way down to the line workers, I want them to give them an understanding that what we do here matters. What we do here matters to that business. That might be a startup, and this might make or break them as a company. And for us to give them the best platform and the best experience is only going to empower them to have a great show.
Yeah.
If we set that tone and we set that energy at a positive, high level, then they're going to start the show right. So, and it's great because I've gotten a lot of buy-in from my company and the people around it, and I know that that's something that customer experience has been very important to you as well. And we've year over year we've worked on how can we improve that customer experience.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday, is that from the first minute they come here to set up their booth, and we know there's some companies here who've never actually done an exhibition before, so there's a lot of hand holding, a lot of information that, we know it so well now because we've been doing this for so many years, but if you're new, it's quite daunting. But and that is so important, what you're saying about the customer service and their experience, and our job is to generate business for them. And we've seen from many of our events people who started with like a 9 square meter and who've gone to 45 square meters, 50 square meters, and that's their business growing through what we're providing for them. So it's from customer onboarding all the way to generating the leads, etc., that they need for their business, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what are some of the other projects that you worked on that you're most proud of?
Well, we branched out to some in healthcare as well, on some recruitment events that we did around the world as well. The value proposition wasn't great, and I think what we've learned from that is the research and the market research that you do before you launch anything is critical, really. And back in the day we weren't really encouraged to do that, but now we do a lot of due diligence before we do anything, and I quite enjoy that process, and I think that's really important. So we go with things with a bit more confidence now, because we've kind of stress tested it through many different means. And So there's been some challenging events like that. Yeah, I can't think right now. Most proud moment.
I know. Well, like I said, you got a full stack, so you got a lot of events going on all over. So, so what's something that has you excited to get out of it these days? Like, what's something that you're looking forward to? You know, what the next part of this?
So we're kind of going through quite an exciting time in our healthcare portfolio where we're moving our biggest show to a new venue, which is a big project. But with that comes a lot of opportunities, revenue opportunities, growth, customer experience, opportunities to actually rethink what we've done. So the way I'm thinking about it is we've been running Arab Health for the last 50 years, and this will be setting it up for the next 50 kind of thing. So it's kind of an exciting time to be doing that.
What's the new location?
So it's a new venue in Dubai. That's not built yet, to be honest, but we'll hope it's built by the time the show runs. So it should be state-of-the-art new venue.
Well, that's exciting,
So it is exciting, and it's exciting for our customers and what we can bring to it. So, and the other stuff that's exciting is growth in different regions, like in Africa. We're seeing a lot of opportunity. So I'm quite enjoying the sort of the business development part of things rather than just the standard business as usual, run the trade shows. There's a lot of thinking about where growth can come from.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely get that. That's the part that I love, the business development side, you know, and especially with us expanding into Latin America and then new offices across the U.S. You know, it's like, what is it? What are the opportunities, and you know, what could we do? What can we build on too?
Yeah,
like, that's a big part of it too.
Absolutely.
You know, because
and in terms of the team that we've got in place in order to deliver that as well, I think it's just interesting how things can evolve, what new talent or how to develop talent within the business to meet that growth. It's quite interesting part as well.
Yeah, and that's what. But we were talking a little bit about mentors and stuff, and that's what's so important these days about, like, as we're building so fast, we have to take the time to be that mentor to those next generation leaders. Who's the next up and comer that's going to be there, and you know, we got to invest the time and energy into them to make sure, because we want to keep doing biz dev.
Yes.
And there's no time to develop new things if you keep having to do the work.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. So that's
well, thank you so much. This has been great. It's been great to get to know you a little bit more about your story, and looking forward to many more years of growth here.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's been great. Thank you for everything.